Welcome to our next module on student technology tools, or things to know to make my life a little bit more manageable. Taking classes online, going back to grad school, managing a job, managing a family, and just taking care of our own personal life takes a lot of time. So you need to make use of all the technology tools available to you in order to make that time management a little bit of an easier process. The one thing to know as you begin taking online classes or any classes as a graduate student that may be offered online is that there are at least two types of online classes. The one that most people think about are synchronous classes, and that is classes that are usually taught via a web conferencing tool and that are taught at the same time, and everybody has to log on to their computer, and you have a video camera, and you essentially watch the class through your computer. Those are synchronous classes, and at this time there are no totally synchronous classes offered in the School of Social Work. However, there may be some components of a class that use synchronous technologies such as chat or collaborate. Most of the classes that we teach right now are asynchronous. That means they're not taught where you have to be at a specific place or logged on at a specific time. However, these classes are not to be considered self-paced. Now, there will be some courses that you take through Mizzou Online that are, as an elective, that might be a self-paced course. And you have, 6 months, 9 months, or a year to complete all the work. That will not be the case for courses offered through the online MSW program. All of our classes follow the semester schedule. They will all start the first week of classes, and they will all end the last week of classes. There will be weekly lectures and weekly readings. And while you're not expected to log on at any particular time during that week, there will be several deadlines during those weeks. The one that happens most frequently will be using the discussion board and making posts during the week. So it will not be unusual for your instructor to say that the lecture or the activities for that week have been posted, say they're posted on Monday or Tuesday, and it will not be unusual for them to give you a Wednesday or Thursday deadline to post a response to the lecture to Blackboard. And then you have deadlines that follow after that when you need to reply and respond to posts made by your peers. So again, it's not self-paced. However, there are expected activities and deadlines that occur throughout the week, every week of the semester. So keeping that in mind, the other unique aspect of an online class is you have to be an active learner. Unlike a traditional classroom where it might be possible just to show up and sit there and nod your head and listen occasionally, in an online class you have to do the learning. Nothing is fed to you. It's something that you have to seek out. You have to once the lecture is posted or the activities are posted, you have to seek that out. You have to read the material, and you have to engage in the activities. Which also requires you to have a very good understanding of what the class is about, what the learning objectives for the class are, what each assignment is hoping to, what you need to be getting out of each assignment. And if you don't understand those things, then you need to ask questions. And it's okay to network with your peers and maybe to send them an email or post a question to the discussion board. That's perfectly fine. But if you're still in doubt, it's a good idea to check with the professor and say, I'm pretty sure that this paper needs to be about this. Am I on target, or am I in the neighborhood? Now, they won't be holding your hand through the whole process, but if you have a specific question about learning objectives you need to achieve, then they'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Since it is a very active and interactive process, the primary mechanisms for getting that information conveyed for the classroom is usually either through email or Blackboard. As such, it needs to be something where you check your email at least daily. You need to check your Blackboard site at least daily to see if any announcements have been posted, and check your discussion forums at least daily to see who's posting or what's been posted. Now, there are several aspects of this that could be set up or can be set up where these notices are emailed to your email address. That varies by professor and something you might want to ask them. So many professors email classroom announcements, and they also, the discussion forums are set up where you can subscribe to a thread such that every time something is posted, you receive an email. Again, that's up to you. Some people like to know that. Other people might feel overwhelmed if they check their email and every hour they're getting an email because somebody in their class is posting something. So again, you need to be proactive, figure out what works for you, and then set up the technology such that it best meets your learning needs. So having said all that, another unique aspect of online classes is that there's a considerable amount of self-care and stress management that you need to actively engage in. Online classes take more time than face-to-face classes because there is simply much more that you need to be actively engaged in as an online learner. So, having said that, an online class is not something that you can do on the weekends only. Now, having said that, some students do that. But our experience has shown us that they don't do as well in classes. They report lower satisfaction in the course, and they also report not learning as much. So an online class is something that you really need to do a little bit of every day. And you can still block out time on the weekends if you need to work on a major paper or something like that. But checking email, checking your discussion forums, posting your discussion post, doing the readings a little bit every day is the habit that you need to get into as you take an online class. Now, having said all that, the very last bullet is extremely important. That research has shown over and over and over again that students generally report increased learning outcomes from online classes over face-to-face classes. The primary reason is because online students are active learners. And because they're active learners, they achieve greater learning outcomes. Okay, shifting gears entirely. The little email thing, email etiquette. Email etiquette has become even more important as people use mobile devices, as people engage in Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, all different types of communication mechanisms. And while those communication mechanisms and how they're used will grow and change over time, there are certain things related to communication that you need to begin doing if you're not already doing it, in terms of the professional way in which you need to be looking at email. Email should be considered a professional way to conduct communications as a social work student and then later as a social worker. So there's certain things you need to keep in mind as you're writing an email and engaging in email to begin with, you need to include a subject line. it's not unusual for me to receive 200 to 300 emails a day. And most of those emails I don't even open up. I look at the subject line. If it's something that I don't have time for, or it's not in my bullseye right now, they get deleted. Now, if it's an email from a student or a colleague, I absolutely open those up. However, it helps me if there is something included in the subject line such that I know what it is that I'm getting ready to read. And then the body of the email commences, and the first part should be a salutation. Preferable salutations would be Dear Dr. Fitch, Dear Professor Fitch, or Hi Dr. Fitch. Not preferable would be Hey Dale, Mr. Fitch, or nothing at all. Now, having said that, once I've had you in a class, and I tell my students this all the time, after we've gotten to know each other, feel free to say, Hi Dale. I'm perfectly fine with that. However, most of my colleagues in the School of Social Work will continue that throughout the time that you interact with them via email. It would be Dr. Snively or Professor Snively, for example, and leave it up to them to tell you how they would prefer to be identified in the email. And then also make sure that you sign your email, including your full name. Depending on which device you use, sometimes it includes an automatic signature. Many devices don't include an automatic signature. Depending on how you're accessing the campus email, it might include your name, but there may be situations where it doesn't include your name. So it's not unusual for me to get an email from pdq47h@mail.missouri.edu. And I have no idea who that person is unless I take the time to look up their name. Needless to say, I don't have the time to do that. So just when you finish your email, just simply sign your full name. In that way, you're sure that I know who the email is from. But before you hit send, make sure you read what you just wrote. And please use Spellcheck. It's there for you. Please use it. There's nothing worse as a professional to send out an email that has typos, grammar issues, etc. So please just get in the habit of using Spellcheck, and you will be noted for doing so. Upon sending an email, you need to expect a reasonable response time, and that's usually 24 hours during business days. That doesn't include Saturday and Sunday for most of your professors. Now, some of your professors will answer emails on the weekend, but that varies a lot. And if you have questions or concerns about that, then just simply email your professor and ask them if they reply on the weekends. Now, this orientation is also being done for some students taking classes on campus. So for those of you who are taking classes on campus regarding laptops, using your laptop for note-taking is entirely permissible in most classes. However, there might be a class or two in which it's not. So again, ask your instructor if it's okay. There are many classes in which there are some activities that require accessing the web. So in those situations, you want to make sure you have your laptop with you. However, it is not permissible to check email during class, nor is it permissible to access the web outside any of your classroom activities. And you may say, I can multitask, it doesn't bother me. And while that may be true for you, it does bother the people behind you and next to you and your instructor when they notice you're not paying attention. So focus on your learning. If you're not getting your learning needs met, then raise your hand, ask questions, and get those learning needs met. Now, as we move on to Blackboard, I've already posted an orientation module for Blackboard, but let me reiterate just a few items. One of which is that Blackboard usually has major updates every year. So, and sometimes there is a semi-major update during the school year. So you really can't expect the same experience using it year to year. It's something you almost, in a sense, need to refamiliarize yourself with it every semester. One of the issues that occurs when Blackboard has a major update or a major upgrade is that not all browsers may work the way they should, whether you're using Internet Explorer, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Opera, or any other browser. So you always want to check your browser each semester to make sure it's working within Blackboard, that you're able to access all the material that you need to. If you have any problems, you need to become a problem solver, and I'll show you the student help file website in just a little bit. And there's also a help desk number, 882-5000, and the staff at the help desk will be more than happy to help answer your questions. Start with them. If you're still having issues, let your instructor know. We also have an instructional design assistant who might be able to help you. And then also let me know if it's an issue that is occurring frequently, so I could let the people at Blackboard know that a lot of students are having the same issue. One of the things that will help you with Blackboard is to make sure you always browse within the site. For those of you familiar with cookies and caches, when you log into Blackboard, it's essentially your computer telling the computer on campus that so-and-so is talking to you. And so you always want to browse within your Blackboard site when you're navigating a course. And this is especially true when taking online quizzes or submitting assignments. You don't want to use your browser's back button or forward button. You want to use the navigation within the Blackboard site. And again, at the end, I'll show you how that's done. Another suggestion is I always recommend students not to copy and paste directly from Microsoft Word or any word processing program directly into Blackboard. Now, each year they say that they fix it and that it's okay to copy and paste from Word, but in my experience, it continues to be problematic. So I encourage students, simply for the sake of Spellcheck, to go ahead and write up your thoughts in Microsoft Word, and even to save that document, and then copy and paste that into Notepad, and then from Notepad, copy and paste that into Blackboard, whether it's a discussion forum, a blog document, a wiki document, or whatever technology tool your instructor might be using. It's always much preferable to copy and paste into Notepad. And then once you've done that, then use the tools inside of Blackboard to format it. So if you need to bold something or put it in bullets, use the tools inside of Blackboard to do that. And then just to reiterate, when in doubt or when you get stuck, you use the help files, because the help files truly are helpful. If your professor offers directions on how to do something, please read the directions. The reason you want to do that is because directions really are helpful. So again, it's part of being a self-directive active learner and taking ownership for your learning. Okay, and then just a couple more slides. When is technology not a good tool to use? Well, when it comes to plagiarism. Due to the ease by which we can access information online, and I mentioned copy and paste, it's so easy to do that. And this is something you absolutely don't want to be tempted to do. So when in doubt, don't. And here's an example to let you know what it's like from my perspective. So a couple years ago, I received a paper from a student, and I'm reading this text, and I'm reading this sentence, and I'm saying, okay, that's kind of makes sense. I'm reading this sentence, and I'm saying that's okay. And then I get to this paragraph here, and I'm saying, wow, this paragraph this third bullet point, that's written really, really well. And then I get a sinking feeling because it's like, oh, it's written too well. So what I did was I just copied the text, I pasted it into Google, hit enter, and the first hit was a federal report that this material was taken from. And I'm thinking to myself, I so hope that the student put quotes around it and they referenced it. I go back to the paper, no quotes, no references. It shows up in this part of the paper, another part of the paper, and another part of the paper. That is plagiarism. And the university dictates that any incident of plagiarism is reported to the provost's office, and then also to the director of the program, and then steps are taken to address the issue. It's a very serious issue and something that will be covered when we review the student manual. So when in doubt, don't. Now there's another tool in Blackboard that some of your professors will be using, which is called Blackboard Safe Assign. And what we've come to find out over time is that students, when they're working on their draft of the paper, copy and paste material, fully intending to go back and revise it, paraphrase it, or add quotes and page numbers to make sure it's properly cited. But in the haste of being busy, perhaps passages get overlooked. Safe Assign is a tool within Blackboard that does that checking for you, and it lets you know if there are areas of text that have not been properly cited. So again, check with your instructor to see if they're using Safe Assign. If not, if they can make it available to you, and/or as you're working on the final draft of your paper. If you're reading something that just sounds like, wow, this is really too good, make sure that it's something that you actually wrote. Or it could be just an absolutely wonderful idea that you have finally nailed. In that case, take full credit for it. But please be careful, because all of your instructors are very mindful of this, and we want to make sure that you produce good quality work that truly reflects your achievements and abilities. And in closing, so when technical difficulties occur, start with student help, and I'm getting ready to show you that again in Blackboard, and/or call the help desk. But also let me know so I can plan ahead for future students if there are some issues that are occurring frequently. So there's my name and my email. So let me open up getting to Blackboard, and this is one of the main portals. It's courses.missouri.edu, and again, you saw this on the Blackboard orientation module. And again, just to reiterate, there's student help on the front page, and you click on that, and it sometimes will list frequently occurring issues or topics. If there's a particular technology tool an instructor is using, like Blackboard Collaborate or Etiquette or VoiceThread, there's specific help for each one of those. And if you were to click on the Blackboard tab, again, these are issues that frequently occur across issues received by the help desk. So don't hesitate to make use of this help if you're getting stuck with an issue, and/or simply use the search function here to look for a particular topic. And then getting back to the main page here, this is where announcements will be occurring regarding issues that will affect all users of Blackboard. So it's been noted that there's integrity playback issues. So if you're having problems watching this, click on the help and see what the issue is. It was upgraded on the 27th, and also Collaborate to make things better. However, when things are always updated and upgraded, that usually means that there is new settings or new things you need to go through on your computer to get things set up. So again, don't hesitate to check those out. So then when you click on Blackboard Login, it takes you to the login screen. Now, for those of you who graduated from Mizzou last semester, this will look extremely different because there were major upgrades over the summer. Courses are now listed at the top, and the look and feel of it is very different. And so, and there's also the different organizations you might belong to, notifications. So everything has changed. And again, the courses that you're taking will show up here. And most of those will be available starting next week. And then your organization that you're a part of, which is MSW Online Students, is here. So click on that link. It takes usually defaults to the announcement page for each course. And here is the most recent announcement prior to this module that I've recorded. And this, of course, will look different after I record this, upload this orientation module to reflect it being posted. But to look again, go over again in terms of browsing within a website, this is a course I'll be teaching in the fall. This is some material that's already available. So you see I'm going to course documents, then I'm going to, and if you look at the what's called the breadcrumb trail or cookie crumb trail, you'll see course documents is right here. And then when I click on lectures, you will see course documents, lectures. And then I click on a lecture, and you will see now that you will see the name of the lecture. Now if I want to go back to the folder that had all the lectures in it, I do not want to click on the back button. I want to click on lectures. And that will take me back to where I was. Or if I want to go back to course documents, I click here. Now that's extremely important, again, when it comes to assignments and quizzes, because this assignment and these quizzes are associated with your login within the session. And if you click on the back button, the computer may forget who you are and not associate a submitted assignment or quiz with you as a student. Okay, that concludes this orientation module. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and I'll be happy to help you with any issues that arise again during the course of the semester. Thank you.